Right, well, so I threatened to do it in my last Resident Evil video, so here we are with the Boltgun 2 demo. So, I've already played through this. I might have to fuck the audio a little bit here. Depends how loud this gets. I've already played through this demo, but if we'll see here, if we go to new game, I have played through this demo as Malum Kaido. I've only done the one run. So I figured, because Malum Kaido was the main character of Boltgun 1, I figured that may or may not be necessarily all that interesting to try out in a video. What I think might be interesting, though, is the Sister of Battle. So what does she do? So she has a slide that you can slide jump off of. Okay. And she has a different type of grenade. Melt-a-bomb. Hold G during throw to slow time. That's interesting. Press G after throw to explode early. Okay, so she's a little bit different, because Malum just had... oh no, you can do the slow time. I didn't see that on his when I played through that. This is just... he just has a charge. Whereas she has a slide that goes into a slide jump. And she's got a power sword as her melee. Okay. When her faith is very low, it regenerates over time. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Well. Let's give it a shot. I'm just going to play on medium because I'm not sure what she's going to be like, so. All right. Let's see what we've got. So right now we've just got the... Okay. We just got the sword right now. And... Oh, that's cool. Oh. All right. That was cool. Apparently that can squish people. And she's got a bolt pistol. Okay, you can dual wield. I don't think you can dual wield with Malum. But I think he had a bolter, not a bolt pistol. Oh wow, I just noticed her during her slide she points her sword forward so you can slash through people. Okay, that's pretty sick. Hang on, if I just... Okay, well that was a bad example. They kind of exploded themselves. Okay, yeah, Malum had a full bolter because her bolt pistol is actually really low ammo. I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. Crossbow? Yeah, that's new. Okay, you have to hold. Alright, well it would help if I could aim. Jeez. Okay. Okay, crossbow's kind of cool, but you do have to... Ooh, that was one of ours. Whoops. Holy shit, that does a lot of damage. I suppose that makes sense, because you have to charge it for a sec. Hang on, I want to try this again. Okay, yeah, you can just slide through a bugle with the sword out. That's pretty sick. That is kind of like Malum's charge, though. Because his F ability is a like a charge, and you could like shoulder check people. So her sword slide is kind of the same. Okay. However, you could not do that. I want to try, hang on, I want to try this time slow thing. Because it was... Okay. So it's not a long time that you get the time slow for, but it is very cool. I wonder if that's long enough to get a, Yeah, okay, you can get a charge shot off. You can get a crossbow shot off doing that. Not sure how much I'm digging kind of either for weapons, really. Because, like, the bolt pistol is cool. The bolt pistol is, that's a flamer. Yeah, okay, that might be nice. The bolt pistol is cool, but man, it has such low ammo. It's like, if you see, the bolt pistol only has 5 shots. That is really, really slow. Or really, really low, rather. I mean, hits like a truck, as a bolter should, or any form of bolter, bolt pistol, bolt whatever. As it should hit like a truck. But yeah, the low mag capacity is, I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, that charge is really nice for dealing with them. So this game actually is a little bit different, or there's some changes over over Boltgun 1, because like, so in Boltgun 1 you could have different grenade types. Malum was able to pick up different types of grenades, but now it looks like you just get a grenade recharge for your designated type. So with Malum you get the frag grenade, and with the Sister of Battle, whose name I do not remember, Naira or something like that. It started with an N, that much I do know. Oh, that's a Terminator. Okay, yep, okay, that makes sense. It's like, why does this guy have so much health? That's a Terminator, that's why. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, Malum could pick up different types of weapons, or different types of grenades in the first game. But now it looks like you are just locked into whatever whatever grenade type that character has specifically. So Malum has his frag grenades, and the Sister of Battle has the melt-a-bomb. Which I'm not sure how I feel about that, because I did like having the different grenade types. Maybe it'll end up being like a loadout thing where you can pick different grenades to take into a mission. Not sure. But right now it looks like you just get grenade recharges for your specific type of grenade, which I'm not totally sold on that. Can I walk through the fire and flames on here? Okay. I'm not totally sold on the just grenade recharge as opposed to actually being able to take different types of grenades. Seems a little odd to remove that. And another thing that I did notice, and I'm not sure if it's just for, like, if it's just a demo thing, but Boltgun 1 had the strength system, right? Where your weapon, like if I go here, your weapon would have a strength to it. It would be essentially like the tabletop, right? You would have the strength and toughness values. And that is gone, right? Like, if you look at the enemies, they no longer have toughness values. Which I think is kind of... I don't know if that's just a demo thing, or if they're just not doing... or not showing the strength and toughness anymore. I don't know if those values are maybe still in the game, but they're just hiding them now for some reason. But they are not in the game as far as I can see. Which is kind of odd as a change. It doesn't really affect me all that much because I'm not super familiar with the tabletop Warhammer, so I wouldn't really be able to comment on if that's, you know, what's actually going on, if that's a thing, or if they're just hiding the values, if it's still effective, you know. From what I can see here, Flamer still does Flamer things. But it seems kind of an odd change to make, given that there were so many things in the base game that were essentially emulations of the tabletop game. There were quite a few things that were just like ripped directly from the tabletop and said, hey, here you go in video game form. And like, from what I can see, they're not really... I mean, some of the obvious ones, maybe some of the not so obvious ones are still in there. Again, not familiar totally with Warhammer. So with, like, you know, the tabletop and the basically everything that isn't a video game, I'm not super familiar with. So maybe there's some less obvious things that they are still including, or maybe there's some less obvious things that have also been taken out. But regardless, the big one, the big two, I suppose, that I've noticed are the lack of grenade variety and the lack of okay, more flamer ammo. The lack of the strength and toughness system. Which I'm not, like, super heartbroken about those things, being only kind of tangentially familiar with the world and the systems in it. I think maybe some slightly more diehard Warhammer players might be more disappointed by the removal of these things, or by at least the, maybe not necessarily removal, but if they are still in the game, the obfuscation of that information, right? As opposed to just having the information be, you know, readily available, so you can have that reference or have that little, you know, anchor point to the Warhammer world. Holy shit, that guy is... right? Alright, dude, calm down. Pretty sure I just told, like, a corn berserker to calm down, which, you know, that always works out well. Heavy bolter? Yes, please. Good to see some things don't change. For example, heavy bolter still does heavy bolter things. don't need to reload Heavy Bolter. So, talking about Boltgun 2, not just as a, like, Warhammer thing, but talking about it as compared to Boltgun 1. I played through Boltgun 1, and I played through most of the DLC, I think. I know I didn't finish the DLC, mostly because I felt like it just kind of maybe went on a little bit too long, which was how I felt about the base game as well. I feel like it just needed to be a little bit shorter. It was a little too long. It was starting to get a little too repetitive, because you don't, you know, once you're past like halfway through the game, you've kind of seen everything. Yeah, they mix up some, you know, enemy encounters, or, you know, they'll just throw like more at you kind of thing, but you don't really get new stuff to play with after like the halfway point in the game. So I kind of felt like it was a little too long. It's just, all right, you guys have fun with that. Yeah, I felt like it was maybe a little bit too long, but it was still fun. Like, it was still a good game. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Boltgun was bad. I still quite enjoyed it, but it could have ended maybe like an hour earlier. Like an hour, maybe an hour and a half earlier. I feel like it could have ended, and I would not have been upset about that. But even with my feelings on the length of the game and the my feelings on the length of the game and the slight like sameness in the late game, it was still fun. It was a cool Warhammer boomer shooter. There's really not much else to say about that. And so I did enjoy it, and I played through the whole game, and I played through a chunk of the DLC. Not sure how much I played through. I'm fairly certain I didn't finish it. But, you know, I played as much as I wanted to play of the game. I feel like I got my money's worth out of it anyway. Like, no, I didn't fully complete the game. No, I didn't go and look for every single secret in the entire game or anything like that, but I played through it, had my fun with it, and I mean, that's really the point of the boomer shooter, is just to, you know, rip through the game, have fun, and then move on. It's not really, you know, not that deep. And yeah, I would say, like, hey, if you like boomer shooters and you're, you know, I would say even like tangentially interested in Warhammer, maybe not even to the point of like, oh, I want to learn more about the world or anything like that, but oh, that was probably a mistake. It doesn't even have to be the point of like, oh, I want to learn about the world, or I'm interested in the world. If you like the like grimdark setting of Warhammer, and you like boomer shooters, yeah, this is a pretty easy get then. And it's not all that expensive either. Boltgun 1, that is. I am unaware of pricing or anything on Boltgun 2. This is just the demo. But Boltgun 1 is like, yeah, if you like gothic sci-fi and you like boomer shooters, you could do a lot worse. I mean, really, if you like boomer shooters, you could do a lot worse than this one. Despite the fact that it gets a little bit samey later in the game, you could still do so much worse than this game if you're looking for a new boomer shooter to play. And I would say from what I've played of this demo, both playing through as Malum and now playing as the sister, yeah, this one seems it's a couple of odd changes, but overall, I do still think this game is. I do think this is quite a fun boomer shooter. I like some of the different enemies they've added, like these flesh hounds. These were not in the previous game. These are new, and also very kind of. I don't recall there being a whole lot of corn in Boltgun 1. It was more like there was some corn in Boltgun 1, I suppose. But I feel like, especially in the later game of it, it was far more like, actually, I mean, it had a little bit of Nurgle, or a little bit of Slaanesh, rather, influence. But I really feel like especially the late game, was so Nurgle heavy. And I gotta be honest, I don't like the Nurgle enemies. Like, I don't mind fighting, like, the Great Unclean One and stuff like that, but the little enemies, the horrors, and the, oh, hi. Remember you from Malum's campaign. Now, you have so much health. What the hell? I didn't mind fighting, like, Great Unclean Ones or, like, the larger Nurgle enemies, but man, did I ever absolutely hate fighting, like, the horrors, wait, were the horrors Nurgle? No, the Nurglings, and, like, the little tiny dudes. Really hated fighting them. I also did not really like fighting the pink horrors, the blue horrors. They were kind of irritating, but overall, I found the Nurgle enemies just to be so irritating. I kind of wanted there to be more Slaanesh in the game, but kind of only got a little bit of it, and so I really wanted there to be, like, more. Alright, see ya. I wanted there to be more Slaanesh than, and I don't mean more necessarily Slaanesh enemies, but more sequences like the, like, mindfuck of the Slaanesh world. Or wait, nope, that's, I'm now realizing I was calling it Slaanesh. That's not Slaanesh. It's, what the fuck is the other one's name? I realized this whole time I've been calling it Slaanesh, and people are probably fucking screaming at me that it's not. What's fucko's name? It's Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, and the other one. I was calling it Slaanesh the entire time. It's not Slaanesh. It's fucking the whoever. I've lost it. I don't know who they are. That's probably why I was calling them Slaanesh. Fuck me. Yep, I'm stupid. I am a not smart person. What the hell is the other dude's name? It's Korn, Nurgle, Slanesh, and the trickery guy. The one who's all about just like messing with you. It's gonna drive me nuts until I figure out what the hell it was. Who is the other one? Who's the other Chaos God? Oh. Yeah, I don't remember, which is a real shame because I like their levels. The like the trickery one. The one who's all about just like messing with your perception and stuff. Alright, well. Speaking of perception, how you perceive that hole in the ground? Yeah, no, I have like completely lost who the other Chaos God it. I've also lost my ability to speak. I've lost who the other Chaos God is, and it's gonna drive me nuts. Whoever they were, I like their level. I don't know who it was, but I don't shout out that one. I'm gonna have to look this up. You know what? Fuck it. We're doing it live. Hang on. It's not live, but you know what I mean. Warhammer Chaos Gods. Who the fuck are they? Tzeentch. Fuck's sake. Yes, it's the Tzeentch world. That's who it was. Good fucking lord. Yeah, there was no Slanesh in Boltgun 1, which is kind of a shame. But I'm wondering how they would actually do that. Not 100% on how they would actually do that with Boltgun or how that would work, but I know this is completely unnecessary, but I'm doing it anyway. There. Yeah. Yeah, the Tzeentch world. The like weird morphing textures and shit. I really like those in the first game, so I'm hoping we see more of that in Boltgun 2. I'm hoping we see more Tzeentch and less Nurgle. I'm kind of done with Nurgle. All right. Wow. Absolutely nailed it there. Zero secrets, zero seal. There we go. All right. Anyway, that is the Boltgun 2 demo. I really like it. I think it's fun. From what I've seen so far of this demo, it's very Khorne focused, which I don't mind necessarily, but I would like to. There was a little bit of Nurgle in there, but like that, the first mission was Nurgle, kind of, but that second mission being Khorne. Yeah, so I'm hoping we see Tzeentch more in this game. And I'm curious if they're going to add anything Slanesh into this game. I feel like that one's going to be really tricky to do properly. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's an M-rated game, so they can do whatever the hell they want. But I feel like it's going to be tricky to do Slanesh. Maybe they're going to do it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for the full game whether or not they're actually going to include any of that into the game. But yeah, this is cool. I don't mind. Hang on. Let's go back in. Let's go new game. Naira. Yeah, that's her name. The sister of battle. I don't mind her as a character. I like the power sword. And I like the fact that the slide she holds out the sword. It's a little different from Malum's just big shoulder check that is his dash. Cool to see, you know, different melee weapons and stuff, because yeah, chainsword's cool, but can we get some other weapons? Can we maybe see like a thunderhammer? Or, you know, some other kind of weapons? Can we see the big battle axe? Whatever that was called. I don't remember. Is it just a power axe? What the hell's the battle axe called? Whatever. But yeah, can we see some other weapons, some more weapons? Or what are we going to get in terms of the remainder of this? I'm interested, because I do like Boltgun 1. I'm really hoping this game is more of that, but also more variety. So it doesn't drag as much as the first one did. Because it did. It started to drag near the end. So we'll see. I'm hoping that when this one does come out, I don't think it's out already, but when this one does come out, I'm hoping they do some cool stuff getting into the mid and the late game here. But from what I'm seeing so far, it seems to be more Boltgun with some interesting changes. But we'll see what the full game looks like. Anyway, that's the end of this one.